the tomato and potato plant, otherwise known as ketchup and fries, two of my favorite things together. An unbeatable combination, wouldn't you say? Now, this just blew my mind when I saw what was coming up in our show today. Michael Perry, our guest, one of the UK's most celebrated and influential horticulturists, easy for me to say at 6 in the morning. You actually developed this plant. It's going to have tomatoes on top and potatoes on the bottom. It's one plant.
It is. Like I said to you, I've introduced about 500 brand new plants in Europe over the years, and this is the one that I'm most known for. This is known as Tomtato in the UK, but in the US we call it ketchup and fries. It is the one plant that gives you hundreds of cherry tomatoes that are super sweet on the top of the plant, and then later in the season, you will get a few kilos of delicious white potatoes at the bottom, all on one plant. This is a true novelty plant. It's for everyone. It's great for beginners. It's great for kids. You can grow it in schools. Even teenagers want to grow this plant.
That's right.
The ketchup and fries plant. When I released this plant on social media about 5 years ago, it was teenagers that were tweeting about it. They were like calling it all funny names, and like ketchup and fries really sums it up perfectly because it's tomatoes and potatoes on the one plant. I want to tell you a little bit about the background because it's not an entirely new concept. It's something that's been done for years and years. And actually, during the war, a lot of people used to sellotape tomato plants onto potato plants in order to save space. And of course, that made sense, but it was always done on a very amateur level. What we did at the company I was working for in the UK, we developed the first consumer version of ketchup and fries. So you've got super sweet tomatoes on the top of the plant. Now, these are sweeter and more organic than any you will buy in the supermarkets and the stores because they've got a much thinner skin. And when you've got a thinner skin on a tomato, it is sweeter.
Really?
You can't buy the thinner skin varieties in the shops because they wouldn't transport. They'd damage. You'd have a moldy tomato on your shopping counter at home, on your kitchen counter. So the only way to grow the sweetest tomatoes is to grow your own. And so we grafted a super sweet cherry tomato onto the top of the ketchup and fries plant, and you will get a few hundred of those fruits. And I've grown it myself, and I've seen it develop in that way.
And you could grow it in a pot if you have just a small patio or an apartment?
Absolutely. This will grow on a pot, on a balcony. You can grow it in the vegetable garden. It is space-saving. If you couldn't decide whether to grow a tomato or a potato this season, we've made the decision for you because the two plants are in one. This is the ultimate gardening novelty.
And this is how
it
comes delivered, about this size?
So these are fully established plants. So these will be ready to plant out into your garden. Into the garden, into your patio pot, your patio container, which is then in the yard or maybe on the balcony. This is super versatile.
And easy to take care of, right?
Easy to take care of. Tomatoes are one of the first places that beginners start with their plants.
Okay.
So super easy.
How much sun?
Well, you want to have it in as much sun as possible to have the sweetest fruit. You can grow it in the shade as well, but the fruit flavor won't be quite as sweet, but it can be done. And you will water this every few days. By around August, you will get those crops of hundreds of super sweet tomatoes. And then in September, you lift the whole plant and you will have a few kilos of white potatoes.
A few kilos?
Yeah, and it's a brilliant variety that you can boil, mash, or chip. So you can create your own ketchup and fries or potato bravas. You know, what other dishes have tomatoes and potatoes in?
Just a lot here in America. Let's show you a little bit more of those details so you know how to take care of your ketchup and fries plant when you get it home. I mean, how much fun to get the kids excited about gardening. Just to have fresh cherry tomatoes to put on your salad every night that are going to be juicier and sweeter and more flavorful than ever before. You need full sun, blooming from July to October. Planting distance in the ground 2 to 3 feet apart. You can get more than one. Our spring price today is $29.95 for one. They will grow to up to 7 feet.
They will just keep growing, so you can have as many trusses of fruit as you want.
Okay.
A lot of people stop their tomato plants at about 6 foot because otherwise they're too tall for you to manage in the garden. But basically, they will keep on producing those tomatoes, and when that crop is finished, you lift the plant and you harvest those potatoes. It's the ultimate gardening phenomena, and you can buy it here today on HSN.
So can you answer the age-old question, is the tomato a fruit or a vegetable?
It's a fruit, right?
Well, what's a potato?
I promise not to ask awkward questions.
You're the horticulturist.
It's a fruit.
And the potato's a plant, a vegetable?
A vegetable, yeah.
And they can be on the same plant?
Yeah, because they're both in the same family.
That's amazing.
But like I said, this concept's been around for many, many years. But the difference is we've put 2 quality products together. So you've got those super sweet tomatoes you cannot buy in the stores, and you've got delicious white potatoes on one plant. So this is, I keep saying this is a novelty, but this is more than a novelty. This is quality. These 2 plants in one space, space-saving, fun, and like we said, it's great for kids to grow, to get kids interested in plants.
Right.
It's a great gift as well.
Also, if you don't have room to garden, if you know, if you're an apartment or a condo, or you just have a back patio, or maybe you just have a little corner balcony, and you've been wanting to do more gardening, you want to try having, you know, more healthy, more organic vegetables and fruits at home, this would be the best way to get started. Also, I love with our warranty, you are going to get guaranteed success. It's going to be so easy for you to get started. You're starting with the highest quality plants. You're starting with them already ready to go, so they're going to take quickly to the soil, and within the end of the season, you'll have tomatoes and you'll have potatoes. I mean, imagine that. You're just a few months away from fresh tomatoes and yummy, hearty potatoes at the end of the season. Is this a perennial? Or an annual?
No, this is an annual, so you grow just in one season.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about any hardiness. You just start with a fresh plant the next year. So this can be grown anywhere in the US. All you need to do is give it a sunny position and water it every few days. It really is that easy. How
expensive are those organic tomatoes, right? $6 a tin, $7 a tin. Maybe you have to go all the way to the farmer's market to get organic, yummy tomatoes. Now, just so you know, our plants down below that you're seeing here are not the exact variety, just because it's early in the season and these haven't had a chance to grow. But yours will be cherry tomatoes on top and that incredible hearty potato on the bottom. If you love canning, if you love baking, if you love cooking, if you just love making fresh salads, this is a great alternative to shopping for more expensive produce at the grocery store. And it's all brand new today. We've never done this before. You can check out the entire Meadow Valley collection on our website at hsn.com. I mean, everybody's really ready for spring here. I don't know if you've noticed, and there might still be snow or ice on the ground where you are, but don't worry, we're going to deliver this automatically. You don't have to do a thing, but once you place your order, you will be delivered your plant at the perfect time for planting. You don't have to worry if it's this week or next week. Is it end of April? Is it beginning of May? Is it end of May, early June? Depending on your USDA zone, you'll get it shipped to you and you'll know exactly when it's time to plant. So we'll keep you updated on all of those dates as the spring unfolds. The best part is you don't have to worry about a thing. You just get to enjoy starting a garden, whether you're doing the flowers. We started with the orange glory, and then we had the peonies. If you're just tuning in now, we're talking about the ketchup and fries, tomato and potato plant. I mean, just get one and see how much fun you have.
It is, and I mean, if you were watching earlier and you saw the bare root plants that we had and you were a little bit kind of nervous about planting something that arrives and doesn't look alive with growth on, then why not try the ketchup and fries? Because this is a plant which is growing, so you've then got that confidence, you know that you can then grow that on at home. So this will be delivered to your door. You get 3 of these plants and they will give you those crops of hundreds of super sweet tomatoes this summer. You haven't got to wait 2 years or more for these. This summer you will have hundreds of tomatoes, sweeter than you'll buy in the stores, cherry-sized tomatoes, and then later in the season you will have a few kilos of delicious white potatoes. It's fun, it's great for beginners, it's great for kids, it's great for teenagers. I've introduced hundreds of plants over the years. teenagers never get excited about the fuchsias that I introduced or the petunias, but ketchup and fries, they were all over it. They were like, this is crazy.
Who doesn't love tomatoes and potatoes? Now, do you say tomato or tomato?
Tomato.
Of course. He says tomato, I say tomato.
I'm sure that will change over the next few weeks, though.
Potato, potato. Let's call the whole thing off. Let's wrap this up. It's 538-493. I mean, how could we do the presentation without saying that at least once? $29.95. You're getting a full-grown plant, a plant that has been developed and created by our very own Mr. Plant Geek, one of the UK's most influential horticulturists. He's here at HSN. You've seen him on the BBC. You've seen him on the news and the radio shows. And we're so thrilled that you're here in our studio, and you're going to keep growing.